Very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, where you guys joining from. I appreciate you all being here on the Friday morning. We understand this is working time, but we also make sure that we do in the same timings. So we only get serious folks on the calls. And by looking at the participation, we understand that there's a lot of serious folks about AI or pivoting to AI or learning AI. Today's session would be interesting. This would be a base foundational session that we're trying to do. A lot of folks have asked us to talk on this so they get a basic understanding of where to start, how to start in the AI journey. We have done plenty of technical sessions earlier in Agentic AI, GenAI, AML engineering, ML ops engineering, and a lot of different sessions. But we went back to the foundation just so that we have folks understanding what we are speaking in the technical sessions, and we also help you understand how to start your own journey in the AI space. Today's session would be Gen AI versus Agentic AI versus machine learning. The goal here would be for us to explain you what these three things are, how are they related, and where some of you in this particular webinar fit in these roles. We will have a 15 to 20 minutes. We will try to have a 15 to 20 minutes Q&A session. This is ideally planned for 1 hour, but this kind of sessions usually go beyond 1 hour. We will be here to answer your questions. So I hope you enjoy this session, and I hope you get your questions answered in this particular session. Thank you again for being here. Over to you, Arihant.
Thank you, Sharath. Hi everyone. A very good morning and good evening, depending on the time zone you are in. So my name is Arihant, and I am associated with AgileFever as a trainer. So today's session is okay. I'll quickly share my screen. Okay, so today's session is about like what is the difference between machine learning, Gen AI, and agentic AI. Right, so this is a very common confusion among many people. Like, if they are working in the machine learning part, then how is it different from the Gen AI? If they are working in the Gen AI part, then how it is different from the agentic AI and so on. So, to make the thing simple and easy, so what we will be discussing, firstly, we'll be discussing the roadmap, right, in terms of tools and technologies. What is the difference between all these three things? The career roadmap also, and we'll be taking one use case, right? I'll try to take one use case, and that firstly I'll solve it using the machine learning part, and then I'll try to solve the same use case using the generative AI, and then using the agentic AI. Okay, so that will give you the clear picture and clarity around like why there is a boom around the agentic AI these days, and how is it different from the machine learning or the traditional ML algorithms, right? So this is our plan for today's session. Okay, so now okay, so I hope everyone can see my screen. So now there are three things. One is machine learning, one is Gen AI, one is agentic AI. Now, this is also called it as the traditional ML algorithms. In this, there are different algorithms we have, like linear regression, logistic regression, decision tree, right? There are so many different algorithms. So primarily, it is what the ML is doing. When I say ML, ML stands for machine learning. So it is taking the past data. Based on that, it is identifying the pattern. Based on that, it is predicting the future, right? So this is what the machine learning is all about. I'll give you one example. Let's suppose, let's suppose if we want to create an application which will predict whether, let's suppose you're working as a data scientist, and you're working for a banking industry, and the bank comes to you, management comes to you, and they say, create an application which will predict that whether we should approve the credit card or whether we should decline the credit card for this person. So what you will do, you will take the past data in the sense like in the last 3 years, in the last 5 years, how many applications have been approved and how many applications have been declined. So you will be passing that data to the different machine learning algorithms. So there are like 10 to 15 different algorithms. So what those algorithms will do, based on the statistics which are running behind the scenes, they will try to identify the pattern in the data. And based on that, it will try to create some flowchart or some equation. Now, if any new application will come, if any new application will come, and based on that, if you'll put some input variables like the age of the customer, the FICO score, the salary, it will predict what is the salary, whether the credit card should be approved or declined. So this is what we call it as a machine learning. In simple terms, it learns from the past data, right? It learns from the past data. That is the first thing. It identifies the patterns. It identifies the pattern from the data. And third thing is then it predicts the future. It predicts the future. So this is what do we call it as the ML. This is what we call it as the ML, that we are giving the past data and it is predicting about the future. And it can primarily solve two types of problem statements, right? One is regression and one is classification, right? Regression in the sense which will be the continuous values. For example, if I want to predict what should be the credit limit, that is called as a continuous value. It can be $10,000, $20,000, 25, 23, right? So that is called as a regression. And classification means where we are predicting whether the credit card will be approved or whether it will be declined. So this is what the ML is, right? And this is not new. So people are working on it since 1960s, right? If you will read the research papers about it, right? So people are working on this since 1960s. So they are creating the algorithms, they are writing the research papers on the different algorithms since 1960s. But yes, it has started becoming popular since 2010 and 11. The reason is because before that there was no digital data and there was not sufficient online banking, there was not sufficient online data which we had. So that's why it started becoming popular from the 2010 or 2012 onwards. And the most importantly, it doesn't understand the language. That was the biggest problem. It doesn't understand language. Right now, what do we mean by it doesn't understand language? That if you are going to, for example, when we talk about the chatbot, you simply give the prompt that create a leave application for my manager, right? So you are giving the prompt and your chatbot, your chat GPT is understanding it. So your machine learning cannot understand those kind of things. That was the biggest drawback. And that is where the GenAI came into the picture. That is where the GenAI, the second pillar of this is the GenAI. And that is where the GenAI is coming into the picture. Now, the full form of GenAI is generative AI. The full form of GenAI is generative AI. So where it is generating the content. For example, for example, if I'll talk about the text summarizer app, if I'll talk about the text summarizer app, so what is that? That you are giving an article of 1,000 words, and you are using the text, you are passing the LLM to it, right? And you are saying, okay, squeeze this data into 100 words. From 1,000 words, right? You are asking your model to convert it into the 100 words or summarize it into the 100 words. So that is what it can do because it is understanding the context. It is understanding the language also. So that is called as the generative AI. Or or here you do not need the past data. No need for the past data. For example, here you were giving the past data. Here you don't need to give the past data because here you are going to use the LLMs. Here you are going to use the LLMs. LLM stands for large language models like GPT. They are already trained. They are pre-trained. So they have been trained on like 45 to 50 terabytes of data. They have been trained on such a huge data so that just give the prompt and they will give you the answers. Right. So this is what the difference between the ML and GenAI is. In GenAI, you do not need the past data. You can simply give the prompt that I need this. Based on its past experience, it will start giving you the output. Now, this started becoming popular when the transformer came into the picture, right? The concept of transformer. The research paper came in like 2017. And after that, a lot of pre-trained models, the GPT models, right? BERT, all these started becoming popular. And since 2020, 2021, we have seen like a wave of different transformer-based models started appearing. Now, if you will see, a lot of open source models are also there in the market, and a lot of licensed based models are also available. Now, what is agentic AI then? Now, the problem with the GenAI is that you have to give the prompt and then it will perform the action, right? For example, if you want to check for today's temperature, so simply you will say, what is the today's temperature? And it will give you the answer. But it cannot think, it cannot perform the action on its own. So that is where the agentic AI is coming into the picture. So what the agentic AI will do, right? Now the third thing which is coming into the picture is the agentic AI part. Now agentic AI, what it will do, it can think also, it can do the reasoning also, and accordingly it can perform the action, right? For example, if let's suppose from USA to Canada, right? I want to go on a vacation for 5 days. So I can give the prompt that I need to go from USA to Canada. Now, what the agentic AI will do? So here we will be having the access for different agents. So one agent, what it will do? It will check like what is the best time to travel. Second agent, it will check like out of so many airlines, which airline is giving me the cheapest price. The third agent, it will create the itinerary for you that in the morning you should travel here, in the evening you should travel here. The fourth agent, what it will do, it will start doing the bookings for you, right? So different agents will come into the picture and all will be performing its own task. So that is where the agentic AI is coming into the picture. So that you just need to give the problem statement and the destination. That's it. Automatically, it will choose the best route, right? And it will start giving you the solutions, right? So this is where the difference comes between the ML, GenAI, and agentic AI. I'll repeat. In ML, it cannot think. Simply based on the past data, whatever you have given, it will find the trends in that, patterns from that, and it will do the prediction. And here we can only work in the numbers. They only understand the numbers. They cannot understand the simple plain English, right? So for example, if you are creating a calculator, so simply you have to give 2 plus 3. That's it. Then only it will do the mathematic addition. If you're going to if you're going to write something like this in simple plain English, that add 2 and 3, right? If I'm going to write add 2 and 3, it will not be able to understand what is this add, what is this and. So that is what we call it as the machine learning. What is generative AI? Which is generating the content. Here you can give the prompt in the simple plain English and it can perform the task. Here I can give this thing, right? Add 2 and 3. Add 2 and 3. It will understand this English language and accordingly it perform the mathematical operation also. A lot of chatbots can be created, text summarization apps can be created, right? You can give the prompt and it can generate the image for you. So basically all those things can be done using the GenAI. Now the problem here is that it is not proactive, right? So whatever the instruction you will do, whatever the instruction you will give, it will perform only that task, right? If you will ask, okay, what is the best itinerary from for a 5 days from USA to Canada? It will simply create the itinerary for you. That's it. It is not going to book the tickets. So those tasks it cannot perform. So that is where the agentic AI comes into the picture, right? So it's like a manager. It's like a manager. So where it has the different employees working under it, so one person or one employee or one agent or one tool, it will book the tickets for you. Second one, it will basically check like which is the cheapest flight. Third one, it will book the hotels. Fourth one, it will book the itinerary, create the itinerary. So different tools, and that's why it's a parallel workflow that all the agents will work parallelly. Okay, so this is called as the agentic AI. Now, guys, what we are going to do now, we'll see it practically, right? Because once we will see practically, then the things will become more clear. What we will do, we will take one problem statement. We will take one problem statement, and the problem statement is that tickets, right? So when we work in the companies, right, we get the tickets. right? Support tickets basically that the internet is not working. You raise the ticket for that. So as soon as the ticket is coming, we have to tag them whether it's a critical ticket, high impact ticket, or low impact ticket. So firstly, we'll solve that issue using the ML part. Then we will solve the same issue using the GenAI part, and then we'll solve the same issue using the Agentic AI part, right? Then you will be able to understand the real power of these things. Okay, so just give me a second. I'll just quickly share my screen. I'll just quickly open that and show you. Okay. Now, see guys, the problem statement here is that this is the data I have, that you are working for a support project where the different customers, they raise the ticket. For example, one customer has raised the ticket that internet is not working since morning. So your job is to identify whether it's a high ticket, low ticket, or medium ticket. Because those who are working in the support projects, they might be aware that we have a L1 support team. So this is what their task is, that they tag it, whether it's a high, medium, or low, depending on what is the severity of that ticket. And second is category, right? Whether it should go to the accounts team, whether this ticket should go to the billing team, to the hardware team, or to the networking team. So as of now, humans, or you can say the L1 support team is doing this task. Now we are going to automate this task using the machine learning. So as soon as a new ticket is coming, automatically it will predict whether it is for high, medium, or low, or whether it is for network, account, and billing. Now, let's see how we can solve it using the machine learning. Now, when we talk about the machine learning, so here we have to predict the category also, and here we have to predict the priority also, right? So this is my training data. So here you have to give the training data. So I'm going to give this data as an input data, as a training data to my model. My model will understand the pattern. Okay, when the internet is not working since morning, so that means it is related to the networking and its priority is high. So it will try to identify the patterns from this. And if any new ticket will come, I will simply say Wi-Fi speed is very slow. Automatically, it will predict that yes, this is a network and this is a medium ticket. Okay, so let's see how we can solve this problem statement using the machine learning first. Okay, so what I'll do, I already have created the codes for the timing part. Okay, so I'll just quickly open it. Okay, now I see. I'll explain you the code. So this is the code which we have created, right? So this is a machine learning code. Those who are aware about the machine learning, they might be aware that we are using the pipeline, we are using the logistic regression for this, right? So this is a machine learning algorithm, basically, a logistic regression. TF-IDF vectorizer, because this is a, if I'll talk about this data, so where it is, just a minute, right? So if I'll talk about this data, so our machine learning cannot understand this English language directly. So using the NLP, we have to convert it into the numbers, right? So for that, we are using the TF-IDF vectorizer. This is a feature engineering technique or word embedding technique, right? So classification report, this will help me whether my, what is the accuracy of my model, right? And here we are using the train test split, which will be dividing my data into training and testing. So pandas for cleaning the data, job lab to save our model, right? So what we are doing, we are importing the CSV file. We are, this is my data, right? We are dividing into X and Y. So here X is the ticket text in the sense this independent variable, this variable, and these two are the dependent variables, right? So that's why we are creating two variables, Y underscore category and Y underscore priority. So these two are the dependent variables. Now what we are doing, we are dividing into training and testing. Right? We are dividing into 80 is to 20% ratio. So if you have a little basic understanding of the machine learning, so you might be knowing this is the flow. We import the data, we do the EDA part, and then we divide it into X and Y, then we divide it into train and test split. So here we are dividing into training and testing. Now here we are using the TF-IDF. So TF-IDF, what it will do, it will convert into the numbers. And then we are using the logistic regression. After using the logistic regression, right? So this is the accuracies we are getting, right? So this is my model. Now, what we are doing, So these are the two models which we have created. One is the category underscore model, one is the priority underscore model dot pkl. Pkl is a pickle file format. If I want to deploy it in the production, I will save the pickle file format. Okay. So here basically I have created this model which is giving me like this much of accuracies. And here these are the models. Now I want to create a UI also, right? So this is the code for the UI part, right? I'll quickly show you. So Conda. Right, I'll show you the output first, then you'll be able to understand like what exactly this code is doing. Okay. Now see, so what is this? This is a ML-based customer support ticket classifier. So now, if any new issue came today, right? So let's suppose a new issue come that mouse is not responding properly, right? Mouse is not responding properly, right? Simply I'm writing that mouse not responding properly. Let's suppose if some customer has raised this kind of issue, right? We have got the email or maybe some person has created the ticket for us, which is saying this thing. Now, when we click on the predict, what it is predicting? It is predicting that this is the problem of hardware and the priority is low, right? Because only a single person is getting impacted, first thing. And second thing, because if the mouse is not working, might be he can work with the keypad also, right? Or the mouse pad also. Okay. So this is the example of ML part. So what the ML has done, what the machine learning has done, it has learned the patterns, right? It has extracted the patterns in the data. Okay, whenever this kind of issue will come, right? See, it is a hardware and it is low. So our model is also predicting the same thing, hardware and low. So that means our prediction is correct. So what it is doing, it is taking the past data, it is understanding the pattern, and based on that, it is predicting these two things. Now, your machine learning can predict only these two things. One is category, one is priority. It cannot do anything else because it has been trained on the similar lines. Okay. So this is what the code is saying, this one. So this is the Streamlit. We are loading both the models which we have created in the previous notebook. In this notebook, if you see, we created two models. One is the category model, one is the priority model. So that we are importing it here and we are giving the title as ML based, enter the issue name. So whatever the issue we are saying, it is doing the prediction here. And whatever the prediction is there, so that is getting printed. So this is what the machine learning model is doing. Now, let's see how we can solve this problem statement using the generative AI. Now, as I was telling you on the OneNote also, for generative AI, no need to give the past data, the training data. Reason is because there we are going to use the GPT model, the OpenAI API key, and that has already been trained on the pre-trained data. Okay, so let's take the GenAI based, right? Now we are moving into the GenAI based these things, right? So what I can do, simply I can go to the CMD code. Okay, so now I'll explain you the code first here. So what we are doing here, I have done the requirements.txt. Here, if you will see, we are using the Streamlit. Streamlit is for creating the UI part. OpenAI, because we are going to use the GPT models, right? Here we are going to use the GPT-4o mini and python.env, right? So what is .env? This is the .env where my API key is stored, right? So this is my API key, the OpenAI API key. So that is being stored here. Okay. Now here, if you will see, let's try to understand the code, what this code is doing. Streamlit, operating system, OpenAI, load env, right? Here we are loading the OpenAI API key, and this is a GenAI based customer support assistant. Now here, if you will see, we are giving the prompt, right? And this is the prompt which we are giving to our model, right? Which model? The LLM. Which LLM? GPT-4o mini, right? And this is a OpenAI model. Now, what is the prompt we are giving? That you are a customer support AI assistant. Given the customer issue below, Identify the issue category, whether it is network, whether it is billing, hardware, or account. Assign the priority, whether low, medium, or high. Explain your reasoning briefly also. So this is the new thing which we are adding, which was not there in the ML part. And we cannot add this in ML part also. So what we are saying, that if you are saying that this is low, if you are saying that this should go into the billing or the hardware, then why you are saying this thing, right? Explain your reasoning also and suggest a resolution also. Suggest a resolution also. So this is the new thing which is coming into the GenAI part, which was not there in the ML part. And you cannot add these things into the ML part also, the point number 3 and point number 4. Okay, and here we are giving the prompt that respond in the following format. Firstly, print the category in the sense whether it is a networking, billing, hardware, or account. Then priority, whether it's a high, medium, or low. Then reason, what was the reason? Why you are saying that it should go into the hardware part? Why you are saying that it should be a high priority? And the suggested resolution. Okay. So here we are giving the role as user and this one, right? So, and temperature, we are giving it as 0.3, right? So we do not want our model to be very, uh, this one, innovative, right? So because based on the problem statement. Now let's try running this one. Okay. And let's compare these results with our machine learning results. Okay. Now the interesting part which you will observe here is I have not passed that CSV file, right? So like in our previous code, this was my ML code. So here we were loading the CSV file. So that means we were giving the training data. But here, if you will see, I'm not giving any such kind of training data. So whichever the data is coming, basically my LLM will understand by itself, whether it's a high ticket, low ticket, or medium ticket. Okay. Now let's see. Okay. So Streamlit run GenAI underscore app.py. So let's see. The system cannot find. Okay. So what I'll do, we are getting one error. I need to. Okay. So I'm getting one error, guys. So just give me a second. I'll just quickly fix it also. I need to create the virtual environment again. So just give me a minute.
Yes, meanwhile, if you have any questions, please, you're welcome to put it in the chat. Either send it to me, and then I will take the questions as it comes. The reason that we are showing this is for you to clearly understand just not the functional part. Functional part could be, what GenAI, Agentic AI, AML could ChatGPT or Claude can just spill out easily the difference between all of this. So we wanted to show you in practical how this looks like in a work environment.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Aryan.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, what I'm doing, actually the issue is that the virtual environment that has been corrupted. So what I'm doing, I have deleted the virtual environment and I'm just recreating it again. And it will hardly take like next 2 to 3 minutes because I need to download all the dependencies again. So that is what it is getting done. So in the meantime, we can quickly go through the code also. I mean, we already have gone through the code, but yeah, this is the code. If you have
We,
any doubt,
we can take we can one or two questions. We can take one or two questions while that is running.
yeah, yeah.
I'm looking at the chat. You can send it to me, please. Your chat will only be able to send it to me or the co-host or the host. Please do send it there if you have any questions until now. We will also have a 10 to 15 minutes Q&A at the end. So ideally, Arihant,
Hmm?
so if we, who has to, go for an ML and who have AML engineer, GenAI versus agentic. So should I do that, or should I do ML ops, or should I do this? How do I know
For
that?
which profile?
For example, I am a senior developer slash architect, and I
Mm-hmm.
probably want to continue as an architect, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. For architect
So,
profiles.
uh,
Hmm.
is architect profiles.
Yeah. So if I'll talk about specifically from architect profiles, right? So these are the senior most positions in any company. So basically, they are the ones who create end-to-end pipeline, starting from the how to get the data till the deployment part. So for them, ideal way is that firstly, they should have the understanding of AI ML part. That what are the different machine learning algorithms we have and what are the different problem statements it can solve. So once he's clear with this, then he's can go into the GenAI part, right? And then he can go to the agentic AI, and then he can go into the LLM ops and ML ops. ML ops plus LLM ops. This should be the ideal
So
roadmap
should
for
one go
architect.
through,
Yeah.
but isn't it
So
a huge curve? Like it's a lot of learning.
yeah, because we are targeting the architect profile. So if I'll say that for architect profile, he should have the end-to-end understanding also, like what are the ML algorithms and how the GenAI came into the picture, what kind of problem statements can be solved using the GenAI, and what kind of problem statements can be solved using the agentic AI. Because if architect will directly jump into the agentic AI, then he might not be able to understand like what type of problem statement GenAI is solving or how the AI ML is working at the back end. So for this profile, specifically for the architect, so entire roadmap should be something like this, Sharath.
Understood.
But
Okay.
yeah, if the requirement is that he directly wants to jump into the agentic part, so yeah, so in that case, agentic and ML ops plus LLM ops, these two are also sufficient then. If in his company there is no role of AI ML, then maybe he can go for the agentic AI plus LLM ops operations part.
Correct. Or he could just be working at agentic and LLM ops level, and there is someone else or some other resource working in the other areas.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so out of 52, 48 dependencies have been downloaded. So it will take hardly 1 more minute, and then we can see the implementation part of it.
Um,
Okay, so this is done. Now let's see the implementation part, guys, right? So Streamlit, run GenAI underscore app.py. Now see, guys, this is the output which we are getting from the GNA based customer support assistant, right? Now, if you remember in the last project, what we discussed, that we were giving this as the input and we were getting this as the output, right? Because we were training the model to predict only these two things. That's why. Now, in this case, right? So what I'm going to do, let's give the same prompt, right? Let's give the same prompt that mouse not responding properly, right? I'm giving the same prompt here also. Prompt in the sense like this issue has been came from the user. Now I'm saying analyze with GenAI. Now what it is doing internally, it is calling what? It is calling the LLM, right? And here if you will see which LLM it is calling this LLM. GPT-4o Mini, right? This is a model of GPT and this is a paid version. Okay. And here what we said, given the customer issue below, identify the issue as network billing hardware or account. So it is saying this is a hardware. right? So assign the priority, which is the priority, right? It is priority this. Now, then we said, give the reasoning also. Now see, what is the reason? The issue pertains to a physical device mouse that is not functioning as expected, which can impact the user's ability to interact with their computer. While it is not an urgent issue, it does require attention to restore the normal functionality, right? So very valid reason, because here it is talking about the computer, not about the laptop, right? Because on the computer, you cannot have any workaround if you do not have the mouse. But yes, in the laptop, you have the workaround. And what is the suggestion? Because we asked for the suggestion also. What is the suggested resolution? It is saying, check the mouse connection, USB or wireless. See how beautifully and intelligently it is giving us this thing, right? Ensure the batteries are charged if it's wireless. Amazing. Clean the sensor and mouse surface and try using the mouse on a different surface or computer to isolate the problem. If the issue persists, consider replacing the mouse. So this kind of explanation was missing in the ML part. And even if you try to implement this thing in the ML part, you cannot implement it. You cannot, I mean, there is no way, because your machine learning can only predict either it's a regression or classification. So why it is predicting hardware and low? Because that was there in the training data. That's why, right? It cannot give this kind of justifications. Now, this was the GenAI, right? The same problem statement we have solved using the GenAI. Now let's move to the agentic AI. Now, what is the problem here? Like, why there is a need of agentic AI? Because it is simply giving me these answers, right? Now it cannot perform the further task, right? So it is not calling any tool, it is not taking any decision on its own. Okay. So now let's see the same problem statement, how we are going to solve using the agentic AI, where we will be calling the different agents. Okay. And let's move to the third one. Okay, I'll just quickly stop this. Okay, now I'll move to the third one, which is the agentic AI part. This is the agentic AI based. I'll just open it. Okay. So firstly, I'll show you the output, then I'll explain you the code, right? So why we have so many codes, right? It's very easy. And I'll explain you step by step. Let's see the output first, right? So that you can able to relate. So I'll open a command prompt. Streamlit run agentic underscore app dot py. Yeah. So let's run this. Okay. So here what it is saying, it's an autonomous customer agents support agent, right? So this system does not just respond like Gen AI. It decides an action also and executes it autonomously, right? So let's suppose we are saying that internet is not working since morning, right? Internet is not working since morning, right? And here these are the different cities, guys, which we have in India. Okay. So let's suppose I'm saying that in Delhi, right, internet is not working since morning, right? So this is one of the location we have in India. So when I click on the run agent, right, now what it is doing? It is thinking and acting, right? Now see how intelligently what it is doing. Firstly, it is calling the first agent, right? It is saying that it's a network issue, right? Obviously, internet is not working. This is a network issue. Priority is high because if the internet is not working, obviously this is a high issue, which is the tool we have chosen, right? So we have check outage. So this is a different tool, right? I'll show you what does that mean. And customer reports that internet is not working, right? So then we have called the tool, and what the tool is saying, that network outage reported, because there is some network outage over there. And how can we check that? Now see, if I'll go to the different tools here, now these are the locations, right? So here if you will see network outage reported, right? So that means there is already a network outage reported in this region. So it is automatically detecting it from it and it is calling. Okay. So this is how this is performing, right? So why we are calling it as an autonomous workflow? Autonomous in the sense on its own, it is taking the decision that what should be my next step? What should be my next step? It reads and understood the customer issue. This was the first step which has done. Then it has classified the category and priority. Automatically, it is predicting that. Then it is selecting the tool autonomously, right? Automatically, it's detecting that since it is related to the outage, that's why it is choosing the outage part, right? So since it was related to the outage, because there are so many tools, we have the check outage, we have that create ticket, right? We have the send response, we have the escalate to human, right? So different tools were there, but it is automatically detecting that which one is the best tool for this and executed action without the human intervention. So that is why it is called as this thing, right? Now I'll explain the code also. So these are the different tools we have, like check outage. So whether in that particular location, right? So whether we have any outage or not, right? Slow connectivity issue or what? So based on that, return it. So we can extract it from the database also. Create ticket, right? So sometimes we need to create the ticket also to the end user, right? So here create ticket creation was not required because we already know that this is a reported network outage issue. Okay. So otherwise they would have created the ticket also with the priority. Escalate to human if required and send the response, right? Let's try to give some other thing, right? Let's say that maybe mouse is not working, right? And this one, right? Now see how intelligently what it is saying that since mouse is not working, so it's a high hardware issue. It is high. Now see how this problem statement is different from the previous one. Was going to the Previous one was going to the check outage, but this problem is going to the escalate to human. Escalate to human in the sense human will check like why it is not coming. Okay. So ticket has escalated to the human support agent. The mouse is not functioning, indicating a potential hardware malfunction. Right? Ticket escalated to this, and based on that, so automatically it is deciding that whether I should perform this action, this action, this action, or this action. So this is what the agentic AI is doing, guys. Okay. So this is what it means. Now, if I talk about these are the requirements.txt, this is the entire code we have, which automatically it is creating the agents and so on. So here also, if you will see, we are giving the prompt. You must follow this rules, right? Choose exactly one tool. This. If it's a network issue, billing issue, or this, then perform these tasks. And GPT-4 Mini, we are using this. And here we are writing our API key, guys. So this is what we have in the
Awesome.
uh, agentic AI part, guys, right? So what we have done, we have understood all the three things using one problem statement. In the ML, we were giving the past data. Based on that, it was predicting. Gen AI, we were just giving the problem statement and it was simply giving me the results. That's it. But in agentic AI, it is thinking on its own also that out of these many tools, which tool to use, right? So considering it this way, that it's like a manager. Inside below manager, we are having different people working under the same manager. One is Tableau engineer, one is Power BI engineer, one is Java profile. So whichever the task is coming, so manager is understanding that whether I should allocate this task to a Tableau developer or Power BI developer. It is allocating the task to that person. So this is how the agentic AI is coming into the picture, right? And how it is different from the GenAI, guys. So this is
Okay.
it from my side. Guys,
Arihant,
if you have any. Yeah.
sorry. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say we already have a lot of questions and more coming. So while you're here at the code, so a couple of questions in regards to the GenAI place. So we can load the CSV file in the machine learning part, but not in GenAI. What if the prompt we provide is not exactly the same you entered? This is from Rakesh. And similarly, one other question from Ravi is what would the ML have done for an input outside of the CSV file? These are the two questions that we have. Can you hear me, Arihant?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see these questions in my
No, I
chat
have it
screen.
on my chat.
Okay, okay. Oh, sorry. So can you please repeat, Sharath, once again?
Sure. Let's do Rakesh first, along with that. So it's during the GenAI execution, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can load the CSV file in the ML part, but not in the GenAI. What if
Correct.
the prompt we provided is not exactly the same you entered? So the question more like is the how important is the prompt role play? And again, another question linked to the prompt is which is
Mm-hmm.
what would the ML have done, machine learning have done for an input outside of this CSV file? I think this is ML and the other one is GenAI. Yeah.
Okay. So if I'll talk about the second question, like in case of ML, if we have given some input which is outside of the CSV file, so here we are using the TF-IDF, which is a NLP concept. So that will give you the error of out of vocabulary, right? For example, if I am asking here, who is the president of USA? Right now, since that data is not there in this, right? USA is not there, president is not there. So that word is not there in this vocabulary. So it will give you the error that out of vocabulary, and it will not be able to give you the good results, the accurate results. That was the problem which we are facing in the ML. That's why the TF-IDF, what it will do, whatever the words we have, whatever we call it as a vocabulary. So it will be converting only those words into the vectors, and my machine learning model can able to understand only those words. Rakesh. Yeah. Okay. Now coming to the second question, which was related to the Gen AI. So in the Gen AI was, what was the question? Sorry, Sharath. The first question, which was related to the Gen AI
So how important is
prompt.
the
Hmm.
prompt? I think it's about the
Yes.
prompt, the question. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So prompting is very, very important, right? So if I'll open this code, I think you are talking about this prompt. So this is the prompt which we give to our LLM. If you will not give this prompt, right, it will generate the output in any random order. Because here specifically we are giving the instruction that respond in the following format, right? I want the category, I want the priority, I want the reason, and I want this thing, right? So here specifically we are saying this thing that I need these four things. If you will not specify these things specifically in the prompt, then it will give you some random output, right? It might not give reason, it might not give this, it might give only the category part. And that's why we have different type of output parsers also. You can give the output in the JSON format also, in the different file formats. Okay.
Okay.
So that's why it is very, very important. Yeah.
Sure. So we have another question. I think this is Srikar. Um, I could probably unmute Srikar. Srikar has a question about he's in the testing industry. He's a lead. Srikar, let me find you and then could you please raise your hand so I can unmute you and you can ask a question. Yeah. Oh, Srikar, I asked you to unmute. You can ask a question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Yeah. So basically, I'm from the testing industry. So I work as a test and delivery manager with a 15 years of experience. So where can I see myself over there here, and what courses would suit me?
Okay. So, Arihant, you want to take that, or I can take a dig, but go ahead. So you're pretty close to DevOps, right? The whole deployment cycle, right, Sticker?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
You are pretty close to the whole deployment cycle, right? The
Yeah,
DevOps
yeah.
area.
So I know the DevOps, like, I mean, do end-to-end testing,
Correct.
integration, and all those kind of things, like, API testing, all those kind of things.
Yeah. So the closest and the soonest transition for you would be MLOps, LLM ops, and agentic ops, right? Because you already started with DevOps, you know DevOps, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
closest to transition that you can align with the AI roles that we have right now is MLOps plus LLM ops plus agentic ops. That way, you have the full set of knowledge when something is delivered. You have MLOps for machine learning deployment. You have LLM ops for generative AI deployment. You have agentic AI, agent ops for when you deploy agents. So you have a
Mhm.
full skill set in that area. But if you have, there's always another option to start from first, again, like AML, GenAI, and all of that. But the closest would be your this thing.
And and
Arihant,
and
you want?
what level of coding expertise is required for these kind of things?
I will leave that question to Arihant. This would be minimal to, I think, 20 to 25%, and that's it. Not even that. But Arihant will be a tech expert to answer that
Yeah,
question.
yeah. So I'll tell you, like for your profile, right? So these two courses will be best suitable, right? So as Sharath also correctly mentioned, so this one you can give the priority, and then you can go for the agentic AI also, right? Because when we talk about the ML ops, LLM ops, or the agentic AI ops, right? So here will be, anyways, we'll be covering all these things, agentic AI and other things. So for your profile, I think this will be the best suitable course. Now coming to the coding part, how much coding is required? Now, because we are using the VS Code or these kind of tools where the AI agents are there with us who are doing the coding for us, right? For example, if I'll talk about this VS Code, actually, I don't need to do any coding here, right? So I can give the prompt here. I can give the prompt here that write a code to create a function in Python which will add two numbers, right? So what it will do, it will literally create the function for me, right? It will simply give the prompt and it will create the entire function for you. So what I'm trying to say, since you
Got it.
already have 15 years of experience, right? Now see, I haven't written any line of code, right? It has created the code for me, right? So this is called as a vibe coding also. So what I'm trying to say, since you are 15 years of experience professional, so you'll be more into a management role, right? Or at the lead
Yeah,
position. So you will not
yeah.
be doing the coding at the ground level. So you'll be having the people working under you. So your work will be more of a supervision part. So for this, the understanding of the codes is important, but not how to write the codes. For example,
Got it.
this code has been written by my AI. Now, as a data scientist, I just need to validate it, whether I can optimize it, whether there is any problem in this code or not. Validation part, basically. That's why it is asking you also to validate whether I want to keep it or undo. If I'll keep it, then it will be retained, otherwise, it will be removed.
Just continuity question. So will
Mm-hmm.
there be any rules in the AI for the validation? Because you've done some Gen AI workflows. So
Mm-hmm.
is there any QA team that can be validating or
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, yes, definitely. So if I'll talk about your testing profile only, right? So there are so many agents which you can create to create the test cases for you, right?
yeah,
As of now, your team might be creating the test cases manually, right?
yeah,
So if I'll simply pass this code to my agent, right, to the agentic AI, so there I can give the three, four different agents. One agent will be checking whether the syntax are correct or not in this code. Second, it will check whether I can optimize this code further. Optimize in the sense, if the code is written in 55 lines, can I reduce it to 30 lines? Third code, it will do all the test case scenarios, positive
yeah.
test case scenarios. Fourth, it will generate all the negative test case scenarios. So what is this? This is basically role of a tester only, no? I
Mhm.
mean, even in the companies now, management is saying that we need those testers who knows the testing part also and who can write the test cases using this agents also,
Got it. Yeah. So domain
right? So
expertise and the technical expertise will be useful over here then.
yes, yes. And coming to the coding part, not much coding, right? It's more about if you understand the written codes or not, because anyways, we have the AI assistant who can write the codes for us.
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
objective is whether that code is solving our purpose or not. That's it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Hmm. So while we talk, I think the other questions that are coming up. Chandana, I would request you to go ahead and launch the poll, but we have other questions coming in, Arihant. How is the architecture layered between machine learning, ML, LLM, and AI ML, right? So there's three different things that you're talking about. How are the architecture layered? Does it sit on one other
Uh,
architecture?
yeah. If I'll talk about the ML part, so that's a totally separate. If I'll talk about the generative AI, so that was the base. And agentic AI, using the agentic AI, you can run the machine learning models also. You can run the generative AI also. So this is how you can understand. So generative agentic AI is on the top. That's why it's very hot topic in the market. And even in every job description, you are asking, people are asking for agentic AI. After that, the generative AI comes, and after that, the AI ML comes, right? Because AI ML is more of a traditional way of doing the things, guys. Yeah, so this
I guess,
is
Mahesh, did you have a follow-up question? Let's see. Let me try to unmute and see if he has a follow-up question. Mahesh, I asked you to unmute. So if you have another question, you...
Yeah, that's the only question I have. Thanks for clarifying it.
Okay,
Mhm.
awesome, Mahesh. Thanks. Okay, guys, what other questions do you guys have? I think Jermaine has a question. I'm going to ask to unmute. Please unmute yourself and you can ask. Yeah, go ahead, please.
So my question is, from a standpoint of like project manager, that
Is it is it
Yeah,
me
it's
or
breaking. No, it's
yeah,
breaking for me
would
also.
you
It's
go
breaking for me also.
Jermaine, can you go ahead and please put it in the chat? Your voice is, pretty weak. We cannot hear
Can
you
you
at
hear me
all.
better now?
The only thing that we could hear
Hear
is,
me
can
at
you hear
all?
me better?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead now. He went on mute. We will try to take another one. I'm a physicist who wants to become an AI engineer. I learned how to create AI agents through NI10 low code. And I'm also learning deep learning and course too. How can I improve my direct path to AI? How can I improve the response speed of the GenAI or Agentic AI in order to get closer to ML responses speed? Did you want me to put this in the chat for you, Arihan? This is a little longer question.
Yes, Sharath, yeah, please.
Yeah. Remember, once this is answered, I'm going to you, okay? Where are you? Yeah, there you go, Arihant.
Okay. I'm a physicist who wants to become AI engineer. I learned how to create AI agents through NA10, and I'm learning how to use Pydantic. I am learning deep learning in Coursera too. How can I improve and direct my path to AI? How can I improve the response speed of the GenAI or Agentic AI in order to get closer to the ML response speed?
Guys,
So when you talk about the
sorry,
response speed, yeah, Sharath, sorry.
go ahead. Please complete that, Arihant.
Okay. So when we talk about the response speed, right? So I'm assuming you're talking about like how quickly the model can respond to the answers. Is this what that means? Response speed?
Yeah, let me see.
Uh,
David is here. I'm going to ask to unmute. David, I asked you to unmute. If you are open. Yep, I see he's unmuted
Hi,
himself.
can you hear me?
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I am talking about, the speed, the how quickly.
So I think this is the last one. In order to get closer to the ML response speed, that is the question, I guess. How to improve the response speed of the GenAI or Agentic AI. That's what he's trying to.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, how
Okay.
quickly the model can respond, because here you tried first with ML and the answer was really quick,
Mm-hmm.
but not for the Gen AI or the Agentic AI.
Okay, I'll tell you the reason. The reason is because when you are running the ML models, David, right? So that is running in your local system, right? I did not use the internet for that because I created the model in my local system. I saved it as a pickle format, and that is what I'm calling, right? So that's why the speed was fast. But when I was using the agentic AI or generative AI, right, I was using the OpenAI API key. So that was hitting the internet, right? So that was going to the internet, and from there I was getting the response. That's why you will see the difference in the speed, David. Okay, so when we talk about the agentic AI or Gen AI, the speed depends on the prompt processing time. Prompt in the sense how big prompt you are writing. Second thing is the internet connectivity, right? So whether you have a 3G, 4G, 5G, because you are hitting the internet and how quickly you are getting the response, that depends on that one also. And third thing is the token generation time, right? That which model you are using. If I'm going to use the costly model, right? For GPT also, you might have seen there is 5.2, 5.0, right? Different models are there. So there the latency will be little less. But the thing is, those models are little costly, right? Costly in the sense the token generation will be costly. So it's very easy how we can reduce the time, but again, the cost will increase in case of generative AI and agentic AI.
Okay.
David, is it making sense?
He gave up a thumbs up. So
Okay.
thank you, Arihant, on that. And then I'm going to unmute Jermaine here. Before that, guys, not everyone has completed the poll. Please try to complete the poll quickly. We'll close it in a minute. Jermaine, I asked to unmute yourself. Okay.
For some reason, I couldn't chat. I don't know why.
No
Can you
worries.
hear me
Go ahead.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to know, from a standpoint of project program manager, what would be the best course to go down? Agentic, of the three categories you're speaking about, what would be the best course to go down in terms of being AI up to date?
You're in project management, program management.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
go ahead, Ayant.
yeah, Sharath,
Please.
you would like to go?
No, go
Or
ahead.
should I? Okay.
You can.
So since you are in the project management, so I'm assuming you are from the non-tech side, Jeremy, right?
Correct. I'm open to the tech side, but I'm just trying to get a feel for what would be the best course to go down.
Correct. So yeah, so for your role, the best course I would suggest is the agentic AI part.
Okay.
Right? So because AI ML is for the developers, those who want to go into the AI ML development role as a data scientist role, as a ML engineer role. If I'll talk about the
Okay.
generative AI, again, that is for those only mainly. For ML ops
Okay.
or LLM ops, that is more of a deployment part, right? Those who are going into the AI engineering side. But those who are in the management role, those who are at the top of the leadership, for them, the agentic AI will make more sense because you
Okay.
have to create a solution for a specific problem, right, by calling the LLMs. You can create the different LLMs. So for that, we can use the no code also, just like David mentioned a couple of minutes back that he's using the N8N. So N8N is one of the way how you can generate the agents using a no code. So for your profile, agentic AI is the best suitable.
And then we teach N8N in Agentic AI bootcamp too.
Oh, okay. So you have an agentic boot camp. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Agentic
Yeah.
AI, agentic AI. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I guess I'll also tell Arihant an overall understanding of all of this AI area is very important for them because they would probably be working in multiple areas. So it's like a horizontal understanding in one place and the vertical into the agentic would be a good fit, right?
Okay. And you can send us information about that?
Yeah, definitely. So if you have registered for this, Jeremiah, and if we have your details, we'll go ahead and send that to you.
Okay.
I guess you must have registered it, right? Yeah, awesome. So I have another question from Anjali. Anjali is here. Anjali, I'm going to ask you to unmute. I'm an Angular developer, but want to make a career in AI field. Please guide. So, Anjali, I requested you. Go ahead.
Yes.
So that's your complete question. You want to add anything?
Yeah, like I want to learn LLM for, like I just want to know more about what is LLM and how can I build my career in that.
Okay. So how many years of experience do you have?
I have 3.6 years of experience.
Okay. So I think, all the avenues are open for you. If you would like to start from base foundation, right? You can always start from AML engineering because you're not way deep into your career. You're not at 10, 15, 20, or 7, 8. You just started your career, right?
Right.
So if you would like to start from the foundation, I would say start with AML engineering, and that would be a great fit. Otherwise, if you want to be an Angular developer and continue to do what you're doing, but you want to do it in a better way, I'd suggest you go with Agentic AI or GenAI, right? But if you're working closer to deployments, again, like we mentioned earlier also, the ML ops, LLM ops would be great.
Okay.
Yeah. So ideally for you, it's AML engineering if you would like to start from the foundation, or GenAI or Agentic AI if you would like to, leverage AI, LLMs or agents to do your job better. right? So you need to think about, should I start from scratch now, right? From the foundations, or I'm going to, do what I'm doing, but I'm going to leverage LLMs, I'm going to leverage agents. That way, I do better job of what I'm doing now, and much productivity, much quality, and then we all have our jobs, right? So that would be the path. Arihant, I think I've answered it right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
cool.
I'll add one more thing here. So since you are in the Angular domain, so I think you are in a front side, right? In the front end development, basically, Anjali, if I'm not wrong, right? So where you create a UI for the applications and other things. So in this also, Agentic AI plays a very important role using the generative AI or Agentic AI. You can easily create the end-to-end application, which will create the UI. Right. So yeah, as Sharath also clearly mentioned, that because you are having very less experience, like 3 to 4 years, so you can go with the AI ML also if you want to make your career in this. But if you want to go with the your current role only and you want to add the AI flavor to it, then Agentic AI will be the best path for you. Anjali.
Okay, I have another question. As a Scrum Master, how can Agentic AI help me do? What would you suggest, GenAI or Agentic AI for a Scrum Master? What do you think, Arihant?
So for Scrum Masters, right? So I recently took one batch also for the Scrum Masters, and that basically Agentic AI will be the suitable one. The reason is because the role of a Scrum Master is like to create the user stories, to check to create the Jira tickets, and
Management,
management, right?
more of
And to
management.
see what are the issues which the teams are facing, right? So whether everyone is having the sufficient time or not for all the tasks which are allocated to them. So all these tasks can be done by the different agents, right? So here you will learn here you will learn like how you can automate scheduling the meetings also, right? For example, if you want to schedule a meeting with all your team members, now manually you don't have to check whether this person is available at this time or not, whether this person is available at this time or not, right? So you'll be having the agent which will check the calendar of all the people, and it will check the common time, and based on that it will ask you, can I schedule the meeting at this time? When you will click on yes, automatically it will schedule the meeting with everyone, right? So these
Yeah,
kind of things, you'll be simply giving a task to the agent that I want this user story. It will break them into the small parts, into the sprints, and automatically it will allocate all these things, right? So yeah, I mean, there are so many use cases which we can give for the Scrum Masters. So Agentic
correct.
AI, coming to your question, like Agentic AI will be the best suitable course for this.
Yep, awesome. Hey, just to add another thing in a broad, not just answer to this particular question, but in a broad section, what to do with the role that I am in, right? So if you're willing to start from base foundations, we would recommend you starting with AML engineering. If you're pretty closer to the DevOps, you understand the test environment DevOps, and the closest would be the ML Ops, LLM Ops, Agentic Ops. So if you want to start an AI career, then it will be AI ML engineering, which also has ML Ops, which also has AI and ML. That would be two different ones. But if I want to leverage AI in the work that I am doing, then it would be GenAI or Agentic AI. So this is a primary bifurcation of what courses. So because complete AI scale, though, is put in these four brackets only. Is it either is it AML engineering, GenAI engineering, Agentic AI engineering, ML Ops engineering? So these are the four areas in which the complete AI ML sits in. So there are multiple things in that too. But then if you have to break it and then say, okay, I'm a project manager, I do not want to go back to technical. Anyone who do not want to start technical, or anyone who do not want to go to deployments and DevOps, MLOps, Agentic Ops, will have to choose between GenAI and Agentic AI. Primarily, if you are in very senior roles, at least 10 plus years of experience, not in tech, then you will definitely choose Agentic AI more or less. But there are organizations currently adopting GenAI, have not reached to Agentic AI, then you probably want to do GenAI. Ultimately, in the roadmap of the maturity of AI, you have GenAI, Agentic AI, and obviously you have to make this stuff live. So you have to put the code in production. So ML Ops, Agentic Ops, LLM Ops will also come into picture. Arihant agreed with what I said?
Right. 100%.
Okay, so are we going to talk? Someone wanted to understand about token generation, perhaps maybe another session, but did you want to just like, one sentence tell them where the token generation comes in and where do we use it?
Yeah, token generation is basically when we give the prompt to the LLM. So that is called as a token generation. So there the tokens are getting generated, right? So there are two types of tokens. One is input tokens, one is output tokens. When we are giving any prompt to the LLM, so that is called as the input tokens. And when the LLM is responding back to us, so that is called as the output tokens. So for both, we are having a separate costing involved. So if we have 2 minutes, maybe I can show it on the.
I think, so this is GenAI, is it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. GenAI and Agentic AI both, right? So wherever we are using this.
Okay, so any other questions, folks? Last 1 minute, Chandana, you can please close the poll in a minute. We'll just give it 30 more seconds, not a minute. So, but guys, we are closing up the poll. If anyone would be interested in putting up the poll, go ahead. I think so. We are open to questions the next 5 to 10 minutes. If you have any questions that would be helpful for you guys, we will definitely be happy to answer your questions. I do not see any yet. Other co-hosts and hosts, do you see any questions in your chat? I can open up, can unmute you folks, and then you can ask your questions.
Yeah, someone was asking about the tokens, no? So this is the costing involved for each different token. For example, for this model, the input is like $1.25 per million tokens. So $10 per million tokens of output generated. So in this way, we can see the pricing of all the models. See, so these are called as a token generation. So some models are costing like $0.4. Some models are costing like up till $14 also. See, $168 also. Right. So that depends like which model you are using. These are the different models for GPT.
Understood. I have another question. So is your boot camps focused on projects? What is the primary goal of the boot camps? Okay. So guys, the primary goal of the boot camps is to get you job ready. We are not going to promise you a job, but when there is a job interview, you will be ready with the skills that is required for you to do the jobs. 90% of our classes are practical classes. We don't encourage a lot of theory, which is not going to be useful for you. Most of our customers, most of our learners are experienced folks, at least 3 to 35 years experience too. So our schedules are aligned to make sure that it does not overlap with your working hours. So we either have it in the evenings or we have it in the weekends. So you don't have to miss your work, neither have to miss your weekend. So it's very easily accessible. And then for every particular cohort or the bootcamp that we at least have 13 to 14 different projects. We also have a capstone project. The capstone project, we will be executing end to end. The goal is when you get to the job interview or when you get to the job, you already have used these tools, you already have done this work. So everything feels familiar for you. Okay, I see Mahesh has a hand raised. I will still unmute. Okay, Mahesh, please go ahead.
Hi. So what are the great examples for Gen AI and the Agentic AI right now in the market? Like, what are the examples like? Can you name it?
Okay, I mean,
how do you know which is the Gen AI model and which is the Agentic Gen AI models?
yeah, Arihant, you want to take
Okay.
that?
Yeah, I'll take that. So GenAI means which is a sequential workflow, right? So which is not working parallelly. And agentic AI means which is working parallelly, right? I'll give you one example. So let's suppose there is one article which you want to read, right? Which is like machine learning topic. So you want to give this to the LLM and that article is of 1,000 lines. You want to summarize it first. Based on that summarization, then you want to generate the MCQ questions, which will test your understanding. So this is called as a sequential workflow, where firstly you are asking the LLM to prepare the summarizer for that, and then ask the questions. So this is where the GenAI is coming into the picture, right? Which is doing the sequential workflow. But if I want to say, if I want to do this thing parallelly, right? So that I'm giving the 1,000 lines of article. On one side, I'm saying do this thing, that generate the summarizer. On the second side, I'm saying create the MCQs also. So this is called as one example of agentic AI, right? In agentic AI, basically we have the concept of reasoning and then act. It will do the reasoning and then it will do the action. But in case of generative AI, so it is simply generating the content, whatever the prompt you are saying, giving, right? So it is not doing any kind of reasoning. So when we talk about the agentic AI, it will be having different tools working under it, right? And based on that, it will be assigning the task. But in the GenAI, we do not have any such concept. I'll give you one example more, one more example. For example, if you are giving the prompt, generate an image of a flying elephant. So this is an example of generative AI, because whatever the prompt you are saying, it is performing that action, right? So that is the example of generative AI. But if I'll talk about the agentic AI, the example which I have given today, that support ticket needs to be generated, and based on that, it has to perform some specific action. So out of 4 different actions, which action to perform after that? So that is called as the agentic AI. Uh, Mahesh, is it making sense? Or do you want me to give some more examples?
Is actually muted. Thumbs up, maybe, Mahesh? Or hands up? I see thumbs up. So it's good. Fantastic. Sandeep has a question. Sandeep asked to unmute. Go ahead, please, Sandeep.
Hey, hi Sharad, hi
Hey,
Haryan,
hey,
hi.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Thanks for this session, but like I'm into the BI and AWS world, so I'm trying to see like what is the best way to start off into this Gen AI, ML models and all those things. What kind of boot camp, what kind of course do you suggest? Like a fresher starting with all these things. I'm not a fresher in the IT world, but it's a fresher for this kind of AI, ML, and agentic AI.
So you are into the business intelligence. So basically, you're working on the Tableau and Power BI, is it?
Yeah, Power BI tools and AWS.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I guess you are interested in agentic or not. So, Aryan, what do you take for Sandeep?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, if I'll talk about the this one BI, right? So you are already working in the BI. So there you might have seen one feature Copilot in the BI, Power BI,
Yes,
right on
yes.
the top. So what is that? That is basically one type of LLM only, right? So in BI, you have one concept of DAX queries also, where you can write the DAX expressions,
Mm-hmm.
right? So as of now, you might be writing all those expressions by yourself, right? You have to think the logic, that which function will be used, what will be the syntax, right? But now using this generative AI or agentic AI, you don't need to think, right? If you have the copilot, using that also you can use it, right? So that is one of the example. Another example can be when you are extracting the data from the database, you need to write a lot of queries also, right? You
Yeah,
might be,
yeah.
right, SQL queries. So for that also you have to think like whether I should use the group by, whether I should use the inner join, then what are the CTs I should write, right? But using this GenAI or agentic AI, you can create an application where simply in a simple plain English you'll be writing that I need to extract top 3 records from this table. It will actually generate the SQL query for you. So this is called as a text to SQL generator. So
Mm-hmm.
LLM will be generating the query for you, right? So this is the another example which we can have.
Okay.
Right? And if I'll talk about the AWS, right? In the AWS, again, there are so many applications which can appear here. Like in AWS, you might be aware about there are some Lambda functions.
Yeah, we're mostly working with the Lambda functions and the PySpark code.
Exactly, PySpark codes, right? So as of now, how you are writing those functions or codes? By yourself? Or are you using the agents over there to write the codes for you?
We slightly started using the agents. That's where we are converting our traditional SQL to the Spark code.
Got it, got it. Right, so that is what also we are going to learn, like how we can make the best use of these tools to generate the code for us. It can actually generate the codes. For example, here I was giving you the example of this one, no? VS Code on my screen. You remember? Or okay, I'll share my screen
Yeah.
again otherwise. See, this was the example I was giving you, that here I just gave the prompt. See on the top right corner. Write a code to create a function in Python which will add two numbers. So a function named this has been created to your this, right? It has actually created the entire function for me. So that is what you can make the use of in AWS also, right? Instead of writing by
So,
yourself, you can do. And you might be using the Databricks also. Are you using Databricks?
Yeah.
Databricks, right? So in that also, have you seen that feature, AI feature, generate with AI?
Yes. And we are like enhancing, we're using that feature, but we are manually tweaking that code, whatever it's been giving us.
Okay, so you are doing manually. Okay. So, but yeah, using this agentic AI, using this AI agents, basically we can speed up our task and the codes will be more clean and better if we
Okay.
are going to use the AI tools over there. Yeah.
Okay.
so, so you're recommending Agentic for Sandeep or
Agentic.
okay, cool.
Thank
Sandeep,
you.
does that
Thank you.
answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I think I see one question. Do you support any job readiness? Okay, so the job readiness, guys, what we do usually help you guys with is resume refinement, LinkedIn refinement, and we also help you with mock interviews so that you are ready when you have an interview. So we help you with tech, where you have to do the actual work. We also help you with resume refinement, LinkedIn refinement, your GitHub portfolio setup, and when also your mock interviews and behavioral interviews. So the goal is to make you job ready, which means anything that is required for job readiness is something that we provide. You guys can check out our website there. We have tons of good material here. So there are two ways that we go through. So one is the boot camps here. So you have your agentic data engineering, AML, GenAI, MLOps bootcamps. These are if you are actually looking to deep dive into any of these areas to start, in a perfect way, complete AI. But then we also have a lot of content and a lot of work that we have done with multiple roles to understand how AI has affected their roles and how it has changed. So AI-powered software development, backend, front-end engineers, backend engineers, DevOps engineers. For Scrum Masters and project managers, we are going to combine this particular course right now. Product managers and for leaders also. So we have curated lots of use cases that is actually cutting down time, increasing the productivity. So for a lot of all these folks here, so we at least discuss 5 to 7 use cases in each of these, if not more, in your particular roles. So if you're looking for a quick upskilling, then we would recommend you go for here. But this does not have everything. This has very role specific. But yes, it's about 16 hours. All of these are 16 hours. For all of this, Python is the base. And then we have a free Python class that we offer for anyone who is registering. So we will help you with the free Python of 6 hours, and then you can complete this course in the role specific. What you will get with this is you will be most effectively working at your role in, be it developer, be it Scrum Master, be it DevOps engineer. We have done multiple batches for DevOps. For software development, we have done multiple batches. For Scrum Master and project managers, we have done product managers, business leaders, directors, VPs who are in place where, executing the particular AI projects or adapting AI in their organizations. We have done a lot of batches there too. What we talk about here is what is AI, what is not AI, how do you identify business use cases, how do you execute it, how do you measure it, what is the tech stack you need to have, how do you measure the success of your adoption. All of this is what we talk in the business leaders. So we have very good content that has curated and taught multiple times across in the industry. So please do check the website, and if you guys have any questions, we will be happy to answer to you. So given said that, I will be open for questions one last time for a minute or two. If you guys have anything, please do show your hands up, and then we can take your questions. If not, we can wind up the session. We are almost 30 minutes, more than the planned session, but I think it's an interactive, so it's good. One last call, folks. Is anyone have any other questions? Okay, that is a no. Arihant, thank you so much for helping us with this session today. We have a lovely audience. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your weekend, folks. Have fun. And we will share you the video on your emails. Okay. Thanks all.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Sharath. Yeah, bye.
Thank you.